welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Youngkin and Kamala Harris. Why is this acting weird? By the way, I will not be uploading tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm gonna be out of town, and I will be having, like, a lot to do. So now just going through labeling Youngkin's safe states. Missouri, Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina's on the line. I think that Harris is definitely strong with the black vote and stronger than Biden on paper. With her unpopularity, I think that might counter that, and it could definitely hurt Harris. I think at the end of the day, though, she's still stronger for black voters than Biden. Probably puts it on the line between being likely and safe, whereas yesterday's video between Biden and Youngkin, it was safe. For Harris's likely states, she gets Colorado, New Mexico, Delaware, Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Maine's first. Youngkin gets Alaska, Texas, Florida, Iowa, Ohio, and Maine second. Colorado, I think that Harris is well enough. I think that she does well enough with liberal white voters to, like, carry it likely. I think she does worse than Biden, though. She struggles in the suburbs, probably just slightly better than Biden with Hispanic and Latino voters. Youngkin does really well with white rural voters, does pretty well in the suburbs. New Mexico, I think that Harris, like I said, is slightly better with Hispanic and Latino voters. I think that Youngkin does fairly well with oil workers. Delaware is likely in 2016. I think that Harris and Youngkin are both stronger, probably, than 2016 Trump and 2016 Hillary. I think that's one of the states that's, like, on the line between being likely and safe. I feel confident enough characterizing it as likely. Jersey, I think that Youngkin does really well in the suburbs. Connecticut, once again, was likely in 2016. They're both stronger, like, probably by fairly similar amounts than 2016 them. Honestly, if anything, Youngkin, there's probably a bigger difference between Youngkin's strength and Trump's than Harris's and HRC's. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I think that strength is kind of a weird thing because different candidates are strong with different demographics. But regardless, I also think that Rhode Island can definitely be characterized with those states. Maine's first, I think Harris struggles with white rural college-educated voters. Maine's second, I think Youngkin has enough of a populist appeal. Alaska, I think that we're probably going to see more and more Native American voters turning out and shifting it to the left. I don't know if Harris is a great candidate for Native American voters. I think that Youngkin does do pretty well with oil workers, though. Texas, I think that Youngkin does very well with white rural voters, does pretty well in the suburbs. I think that Harris struggles in the suburbs. I think she's alright for Hispanic and Latino voters, like, slightly better than Biden. I don't think that Youngkin is great for Hispanic and Latino voters. I think that Trump was fairly strong for Hispanic and Latino voters. I don't know that Youngkin is. I think Harris probably does decent with the black vote, probably better than Biden, but I think that she still probably struggles as a result of her unpopularity. I said this before, but it doesn't matter how strong you are on paper. If people just don't like you, they're probably not going to vote for you. Even if Harris has loads of strength on paper, it doesn't matter if she's just unpopular. I think she's still strong enough with the black vote, but I think it would be a bit of a problem for her. But not nearly as big of a problem as it would be for, like, Joe Biden. Florida, I think that Harris is slightly better than Biden with Hispanic and Latino voters, like I said. I think that Youngkin is pretty well with older white voters, though, and does pretty well in the suburbs. Iowa, I think that Youngkin is pretty well with rural white voters, does pretty well with Obama to Trump voters. Ohio, I think that Harris does slightly better than Biden with the black vote. Youngkin does very well in the suburbs, though, does very well with white rural voters, and does very well with the white working class. For Harris's lean states, she gets, what does she get? I don't know if she has any. For Youngkin's, he gets Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and North Carolina. Harris gets Virginia. Virginia's actually on the line between being lean and likely. I think she does substantially better there than Biden. Arizona, I think that Youngkin does very well in the traditionally conservative suburbs. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Wisconsin voting farthest to the right, Michigan voting farthest left, Pennsylvania voting in the middle of the two, probably. I think that Youngkin does very well with white rural voters. Harris does slightly better than Biden with the black vote. Youngkin does pretty well in the suburbs, pretty well with white rural voters, pretty well with the white working class. Um, if I don't know if like you noticed, obviously, like I say you and I'm talking to like a bunch of different people. Anyways, if you noticed, Wisconsin, I did move that down from likely to lean. I think that Harris probably just slightly better with the black vote, and it's nearly counteracted for losses with the white working class. But I think it's just enough to make Wisconsin lean. Honestly, it might not even. Or, I don't want to say it might not even be enough because I think that she's better with the black vote than Biden, but just worse with the white working class. It really depends on how much you think Biden's gonna lose it by. For now, I'm comfortable saying like a 4% margin of victory or so for Youngkin. Probably like 2% ish in Michigan to 1%. Probably Pennsylvania like a 2.5% margin of victory. Maybe just 1%, like 1.5 or 1%, maybe 0.5. Michigan could definitely be tilted. New Hampshire, I think that Youngkin does really well with white rural college educated voters. North Carolina, I think that Harris does better than Biden with the black vote. Youngkin still does pretty well with white rural voters. Harris probably does worse with the white working class. I'm gonna give that to Youngkin. Lean for Youngkin. Oh, Virginia, by the way. This is on line between being lean and likely. I think that Harris is fairly strong with tradition or with like in the DC suburbs. I think she's better than Biden with the black vote, and I could see her realistically doing better than Biden in the DC suburbs. I could also see her like really struggling, but I could see her realistically doing better. I think 4% is probably a fairly like I think that's a fairly like I think that's a fair what's the right word, like a fairly comfortable, like it's I don't necessarily know if I'm like if it's something I'm like comfortable with making, like a fairly I don't know what the right word, like a prediction that's like fairly like expected, fairly realistic, something that's like it's not like making too much of a gamble. It's like, yeah, okay, this is generally like a fairly safe. I'm not like gambling on elections, but if I was, like, this is like a fairly safe like pick. Which is weird to say because safe is like a rating, but or solid. Wait, solid? Solid R. That's a. Am I just randomly making stuff up now? Is that like a thing? Solid D. Safety. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing that people say or if I just made that up in my head. Anyways, for the tilt states, Youngkin gets, actually let's do Harris's first because I think she might have more. Actually no, Youngkin might have. I'm not even sure. Youngkin gets Minnesota, Maine at large, and Georgia. Harris gets Nebraska second, and Nevada. So Nevada and Minnesota are both flips, and Maine at large flips. And Virginia obviously flips. I think those might be the only flips from the Biden-Youngkin one. Nevada, I think that Harris is better than Biden with Hispanic and Latino voters. Nebraska second. I think that Harris is weaker with white liberal voters in cities. Minnesota, I think that she's weaker with white liberal voters. Would probably do worse in Minneapolis than Biden would. Maine at large, I think that she's worse with white rural college educated voters. Georgia, I think she's stronger with the black vote, and has the ability to, like, even if she is, I think, or not say stronger, yeah, she's stronger with the black vote. I think she'll do better with the black vote. Once again, I think she and Biden would both probably struggle, but I think that tilt R is, once again, to go back to Virginia, a fairly, like, safe thing to, like, think, like, in terms of, like, if I was trying to make, like, a prediction, I'm like, yeah, I'm, like, trying to go with like the safest prediction. I think that's a fairly safe thing, or fairly safe rating. I think that if she gets more popular, she probably carries this, and maybe even by a lean margin. For now, I'm gonna say tilt R. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below, and hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.